Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, April the 4th, 2014. And welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Most of you guys have been here before, but for those of you who are just dropping in for the first time, this is a channel where every Friday we all get together and we talk about selling on eBay. We talk about the positive and we talk about the negative, and we try and help each other in some way. Hopefully you'll find some information in this video that is helpful to you tonight. Tonight's topics, we're going to talk about a recap of last week's video, which we mentioned about certain ways we could try to avoid getting defects on eBay. We also are going to talk about returns, because a lot of you have had questions about returns on eBay, and we're going to address some of your other concerns. Okay, so let's get started. First, let's talk about last week's video, and I'll go through some of your comments. You guys seem to approve of my little idea about the eBay buyer dashboard. I think the eBay buyer dashboard would be a great asset to all eBay sellers. Now, somebody wrote in and said, well, Joe, what good would the dashboard be if somebody has already bought your item? Let's say they do a buy it now and the die's already been cast. And that, of course, is true. But there is a lot of cases where the dashboard could avert problems. For instance, how many of you guys are like me? You sell in the fixed price category for a set amount, let's say $100, and then you get people who contact you through eBay messages and say, I'm interested in your item, but I only want to pay $75 with free shipping. Would you accept $75? So, in that case, before you would accept it, I would think you would check the guy's history out and see what kind of a bidder he is. Alright? Because believe it or not, I get quite a few people that'll contact me and ask me if I will take less than the stated price. For instance, if I'm selling an item for $100, if a person contacts me and says I'm offering you $30 with free shipping, forget about it. I'm not dealing with them. But if they offer me $75, $80, $85, chances are I will. But I research who they are first. And one important codicil I always make when I agree to take less than the price I really want. So let's say a guy offers me $80. I'll say to him, sir, your offer is reasonable and I will accept it. However, there is one stipulation. You must purchase the item today. Not next week, not next month, today. If you're willing to buy the item from me today for the price you offered of $80, I will change the auction. I will revise it to $80. Just contact me back. And he'll contact me back and say, yes, Joe, I'm willing to buy today. I'll revise the auction to $80. And I'd say about 75% of the time, he will, in fact, do the buy it now for the money. I'd say 3 out of 4 times. But again, it's always nice to know who you're dealing with. Sometimes people will contact before making a purchase and ask something really unreasonable that makes you worry ahead of time. Like, an example would be, Joe, I see you're selling such and such an item. I bought 4 of these on eBay from 4 different sellers and they weren't to my liking. I've returned all 4. So I just want you to know, if I buy this and don't like it, it's coming back your way. Now, will you take half price for it? That's something that would concern you, right? I know it would concern me. So that's just an example of why I think, one of the many reasons I think, that an eBay buyer dashboard would be invaluable to us sellers. Let's now talk a little bit more about returns. I told you guys last week that I had come up with a letter that I've been sending out to people to try and avoid problems with defects on eBay. Prior to this year, I used to love when people contacted me through eBay contacts because it kept everything on the up and up between the buyer and the seller. It was great. Now, anytime a buyer contacts a seller after they get the item, it's almost always going to count as a defect and that is wrong. It hurts all of us. One of the ways I suggested to get around it was to send a thank you letter to all your buyers with your contact number in the daytime so they can call you directly. I'd like to talk to you now about that. Since I last talked to you guys last Friday, I had 2 people call me on the telephone saying they bought stuff from me on eBay and they screwed up. They admitted it was their fault and they told me what they needed, and I agreed to do an exchange with them, no problem. It was good because they admitted they were wrong, and number 2, I don't get a defect. Even if they contacted me through eBay and said I want to return the item and admitted they were at fault, I would still get the defect, and that is just unconscionable. It's just so wrong that the seller's getting charged even when the seller does nothing wrong. I did have one person do something really freaky. I want to show you this because you wouldn't believe it if I just told it to you. In the past, we've talked about people who send items back without ever contacting you, either through eBay, through your telephone, or through anything. Those are the people that really mystify me. They just send things back at random with no excuse. Well, I got one this week. I'm going to get the box. I want you to see this. Hold on. Okay, guys. I had sent out this package to a guy, buyer on eBay. He got it. And I guess he opened it up and he realized he screwed up and bid on the wrong thing. Did he call me? No. Did he contact me through eBay? No. He just took it upon himself to send this box back with the original item and even my cover letter, the one that says, thank you. If there's any problem at all, call me. I'll take care of it. Well, there was a problem, but he never called me. He took it upon himself to send this thing back, and get this. Did he put a note in the box? No. Look what he did. I want you to see this. Right here. Look, read. Need to be 1994 F-150. That's his idea of communicating with me. What he did was he bid on an item and he didn't read. Okay? Got it? And this is the way he communicates with his seller. Send the item back and write on the box, need to be 1994 F-150. Now, the good news is I have what he needs. The bad news is it actually costs more than what he paid for. So I'm in a quandary here. Do I send him the item he wants? Which I have. Do I give him a refund? But now if we do the cancel transaction thingy, I may well get a defect out of this. Because you know, it's all about the buyer. So, I sent him what he wanted. I mean, what else was I going to do? What would you have done? I know a bunch of you guys have PM'd me and told me similar stories, how you just received this box back and the guy never contacted you or never even gave you a reason why you sent it back. This is probably the 4th one in about 6 months that I've gotten back like this. But this is the first time where anyone ever scribbled a note on the outside of the box. Very weird. Another little tidbit I should have mentioned last week, I find this very helpful. A way to make buyers happy is when you're packing your item, whether it's new or used, always put the item in one of these poly bags. I buy these by the gross. I buy tons of these things and put all my items in a poly bag. Everything looks better in a poly bag. Here, let me show you. Right? I rest my case. I should probably do the rest of the whole video like this, but I'm not going to. But it's always helpful to put your item in a poly bag with the note and hopefully a receipt. How many of you guys send receipts to your customers on eBay? I always have since day one. I buy stuff on eBay and rarely, and I mean rarely, does anybody ever give me a receipt. I was just wondering about how many of you guys send out receipts. So in the comment section, when you're commenting later, address whether or not you send any kind of receipt. I think it's a great idea to send the receipt. At least it has your contact number on it, and maybe down the road the customer will need another item from you and call you directly. It's like the old saying, it's like chicken soup. It can't hide, right? Okay, so we've covered returns now. So guys, how were your eBay sales since we last talked? Knock wood, mine were very good. No complaints at all. I've sold quite a few items. Naturally, everybody paid because everything's in the fixed price listing. And you guys, I know a lot of you complain every week about your deadbeat bidders, and I totally understand you. I got sick of it too. Unless people are required to pay for their item, there's a good amount that won't. So what I would always suggest is list your item in the fixed price category with immediate payment required. You can't lose. You can't get burned. Speaking of getting burned, a word of caution. Have any of you sellers, especially you top-rated sellers, received a phone call this week from a person making believe they were interested in your eBay listings when in fact they're trying to sell gift cards? Well, there's a new scam out there. Listen really good. The same unscrupulous company has called me 4 times. Twice on Wednesday, I think, and twice on Thursday. I'm not naming the company at this moment. I think something's going to come of this. And here's the way the scam works. The phone will ring, and obviously you'll see the name of the company on your caller ID if you have it. But if you don't, you'll hear a boiler room atmosphere in the back with a lot of noise. And the person will say, "Hi, could I talk to the person that's in charge of your eBay account?" Trying to make it sound like they're some kind of important person. And you'll say, "Well, that's me. What can I help you with?" And then they'll say, "Well, I saw one of your listings and I want to talk to you about it." They're making it sound like they saw something you're selling on eBay and they want to buy it. And when you say, "Yeah, I'm the guy. I'm the guy who handles the eBay account. Who are you?" And they'll say, "Are you interested in buying gift cards and selling them on eBay?" Has this happened to you? If it has, please comment below. I want to see how far-reaching this is. All right? Can you imagine somebody that's unscrupulous enough to call up and make it sound like they're interested in your listing, and all they want to do is they want to get you to sell gift cards? It's going on. In fact, you know something? I forgot to post this to the Facebook groups. I got to get them in on this. Let's see how widespread this is. So again, guys, that's another important thing. Have any of you received a call this week about selling gift cards from a telemarketer? I'm trying to figure if it's just top-rated sellers that they're going after or all eBay sellers. All right. To rehash, by the way, a couple of things I forgot to tell you. Number one, it's 5:51 p.m. on Friday, so I'll be lucky to get this thing up by 8 or 9. Number two, like I tell you every week, it is nasty out. Let me just spin the camera real quick. I don't want to give anybody motion sickness, but here we go. Cloudy, rainy, and nasty. It's 41 degrees out. Typical northeast weather. And there we go, back to me. It has been terrible all week. There is no sign of spring in the Northeast. You people in Florida, California, Arizona, count your blessings, man. Because someday, don't be surprised if crazy New York driver moves out to one of those states, because he is just dying for a sunny day. Okay, let's rehash real quick and I'll let you go. Number one, I'd love to see comments on the following items. Have any of you received calls from somebody acting like they're interested in your item when in reality they only want to get you to sell their gift cards on eBay? Number two, have any of you had any hassles with returns? People returning things without even contacting you, like the box I just showed you earlier? And number three, a lot of you did contact me and tell me that you're sending out thank you letters, and I think that's a really good idea. All right? Continue to do that. I certainly am. And hopefully it will avoid problems. And you guys who have been sending letters, has anybody called you yet? Has the letter actually helped you? Because it has helped me. No, it's not 100%, but it's helped. And we need any little help we can get. And of course, if you have any more comments about the buyer dashboard or the proposed buyer dashboard, comment them. And of course, tell me what you think about my little polybag idea. And I'm Crazy New York Driver. You're not. Thanks for watching. Rock on. If you want to talk about a certain topic on eBay next Friday, hit that up below as well. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Peace.